Hello and welcome to another PA Matches cast. We've got a 1v1 between Burntcustard and OrbNet. OrbNet is in his usual purple and Burntcustard is sporting the orange. So let's take a look and see what players are doing. With the new build, the commander's storage has been increased, so we've got a whole bunch of players experimenting with a variety of different build techniques, and these guys actually seem to be going for the same. 3 metal extractors, 2 energy plants, and an energy storage, and then a bot factory. Very interesting. That energy storage will be very nice, allowing the players to not stall out on energy during the opening build. Got an early air factory going up. Good move. Always want to scout early. Always want to scout early. Now Burntcustard is going straight away for energy, while OrbNet is going for power instead. This will be a nice opportunity to contrast different strategies. And now fabricators are heading out to nab metal spots. Real quick, we are on a 2-planet system. We've got a moon orbiting this main planet. So this hopefully will get us some interplanetary action. It's always fun with all these new builds that are going out. Interesting. We've got some laser defense towers going up very early from OrbNet, very smartly placing walls around them. Walls do an incredible job of increasing the effective hit points of defensive structures. Now Burntcustard is not yet going for a air factory and is instead continuing to push for bots. That is very interesting. Most players do what OrbNet is doing and go for a air factory as the second factory, because air is very useful for scouting due to the high speed and large vision radius. Personally, I normally scout with fighters rather than a scout, but a lot of people use the scout. Lots of expansion, lots of fast expansion headed out from Burntcustard, and OrbNet is scouting in the wrong direction. Both players are pretty close, so that's going to result in obviously a bunch of fighting in here, as well as fighting for control over these metal spots. Both players are going to want to expand out the back as fast as they can. Quite a lot of metal spots nice and close here for Burntcustard. Orb has a little bit farther to go, but has this fantastic lake to take advantage of, and plenty over here towards the South Pole. And, oh, I wonder if they caught that. I wonder if Orb caught that. Hardly any offensive units from either side. We've got a few doxes from Burntcustard, and hardly any doxes from OrbNet. Very interesting. It seems a very common trend. Oh, here we go. Doxes headed out. Orb knows that Burntcustard is over in this direction if he's not already scouted the entire base. There we go. Air factory going up from Burntcustard, and wow, these are going to be some fantastic early wins. It's one of the very good benefits of going for an air factory as your second factory. That allows you to scout and get in some early raiding, which can be a huge advantage. Burntcustard is now sending his doxes in to defend his early metal expansions, and Orb has some idle doxes. You know what, yep, Orb does know where Burntcustard is, and Burntcustard does not know where Orb is, just know that he's somewhere in this direction. And got a bunch more doxes headed in from Orb. Oh, we've got a oh no, that's Stinger, not a combat fabricator. Getting in some very good wins here from Orb, taking out some early metal spots, which is a huge win early on. The exponential growth is very, very important during the early game, and the more you can slow down your opponent's early growth, the better off you'll be in the long term. However, Burnt Custard is going straight for a very early orbital. That is a very nice move. Burnt Custard is now having to pull in his commander to fend off these early attacking doxes from OrbNet. Some nice expansions from Orb, although it does look like Orb has less expansion, but Orb is putting in some excellent work destroying these metal extractors, and obviously these bots are much faster than the commander, so hopefully we'll see these doxes head on over here. Yep, looks like they're heading out over here to take out these metal extractors here out in the back, and some have split off to take care of these expanding fabricators. Some amazing, very, very good rating here from OrbNet, making good use of his fighters to scout out what Burnt Custard is doing, and this certainly is not looking good for Burnt Custard. Taking out, oh gosh, he's going to be able to take out pretty much all of these metal extractors back here with very little resistance. We've got another large group of doxes heading in from OrbNet. They're going to swing in here, and any resistance they're going to be able to overcome. Wow, we've even got some doxes over here that have circled around the back, but they just ran into some missile defense towers. Something worth mentioning, in the next patch, which hopefully, cross our fingers, we'll see sometime this week, missile defense towers will only shoot at air units. So take that into your calculations. Man, this certainly is not looking good for Burnt Custard. We've got an Astraeus being built, which is, at this point, Custard's pretty much only hope. He's got to get off planet because Orb has a big advantage here. And we could see... No, there's a missile defense tower over here, so that should be fine. Got some bots over here that are falling around the commander. These bots yep, the Astraeus is now in orbit, or has been launched, which is very good. But if Orb is paying attention, he could bring in his fighters and snipe Burnt Custard out of the Astraeus. And here they come. Ooh, we might see a very, very early win here for Orb. But Burnt Custard does have a few fighters. Oh, no, a bunch of fighters. They just all happen to be stacked. And they are very wisely guarding this commander and Astraeus while the commander is snatched up and sent off to the other planet. Large force of doxes gathering up here. Oh, and a snipe attempt from Orb, thwarted by Burnt Custard's defending fighters. So, not much left here for Burnt Custard on this main planet. We got an orbital factory going up from Orb, and not much left here to stop Orb from taking complete control of this planet. But with those defensive structures, it looks like these bots are going to get thwarted and sent off. So at this point, Orb knows that Burnt Custard has fled, and he's probably feeling pretty good about the amount of control that he has over this planet since he's been doing so much scouting. And so what Orb needs to be doing is just pumping out a bunch of fabricators. Oh, we got the deep space orbital radar up. But so Orb needs to just send fabricators all over the place. He needs to step it up to advanced and start putting up metal extractors everywhere and getting up nukes, because he needs to be Orb needs to be careful of interplanetary nukes. Orb needs to use interplanetary nukes to avoid a planet smash. And that is an orbital fabricator now out from OrbNet. So let's see what Burnt Custard's status is. Burnt Custard has made it all the way over to the other planet and is now landing. Let's see, what is this? Okay, so let's see. Got an orbital fabricator headed out from Orb. And let's zoom back in. And, ooh, bunch of bots headed around everywhere. Set another anchor point over here. So, there we go. We've got advance headed up from Orb. Orb is going to need to start pumping out those nukes. That's probably going to be one of the best options that Orb has. Orb is circling around and making sure that Burnt Custard cannot expand and is going to be attacking from all sides here. Looks like Burnt Custard rather has pretty much abandoned this planet and is not. It's putting up some defensive structures, not bothering on building more factories or anything. I'd be really curious to see what his economy is like right now. And here we go, push in from all sides from Orb. And advanced factories almost done. Interestingly, we've got an idle orbital factory. So let's see. Air factory, very nice. We've got scouts patrolling the moon, which, is it smashable? It is smashable. So it's there's fighters patrolling the planet, watching out for the teleporter, which there it is. Orb is going to need to take out that teleporter as quickly as possible. So now we've got a teleporter up here and a bunch of bots hanging out ready to blitz on through that teleporter as soon as it is finished. And bots, oh, interesting. Look, it looks like both players have pretty much just abandoned this small little base, and Orb is gathering up all of his units near the teleporter to push on through as soon as the other teleporter is completed, which I'm guessing. Oh, the teleporter is completed. Looks like we are about to get a win. Burnt Custard is sending his commander over to that teleporter in an attempt to destroy it, but it's too. Oh! OrbNet is having power issues. There we go. Teleporter is back on, and we shall see bunches of doxes streaming on through. Doxin? Lots of dox? Bunches of doxin? Bunches of doxes? Dox? Doesn't really matter. That is more than a substantial enough force to take out that commander, especially since there are some advanced fabricators and sniper bots. Yep, this is not going to take long. Boom, and down goes Burnt Custard. Good game. Very, very nice early rating from Orb. That was just very, very well done. All around, I thought that was a good match. I enjoyed watching it. Let me know what you think in the comments and drop me a like if you enjoyed it.